Becky Lynch is making a big pitch that does make sense, so we'll check that out. We'll also check out what's new for Roman Reigns, Jey, and more. Starting things off with Becky Lynch and the big idea she just put out there. At this point in stage in Becky Lynch's career, she has nothing left to prove to anybody. She's a multiple-time world champion, Grand Slam champion, Royal Rumble winner, WrestleMania main eventer, and headliner of so many other WWE events. Her Hall of Fame status is already locked in and promised. Nobody is changing that. Anything else Becky does for the rest of her career is pretty much adding gravy to the top of such a legendary career. But there is one thing Becky Lynch has yet to accomplish in her amazing career. One thing that has slipped through the cracks throughout these years, and that's the Money in the Bank contract. Becky has never climbed up the ladder and secured that Money in the Bank contract. But it's something that's on Becky's radar and something that she believes could be a lot of fun for her character to work with. Becky Lynch had this to say about winning the Money in the Bank contract when speaking with Stephanie McMahon. "I want the Money in the Bank briefcase. I want the power, especially this character with the Money in the Bank briefcase. Everybody would hate it so much because they'd want it to go to somebody younger, somebody up and coming, somebody who's never been a champion before, and I can just shove that in everybody's faces and have all the champions fear me. So that's the one goal that's eluded me." End quote. And that's definitely a big idea there by Becky because that's exactly how it would go. Becky loves the idea of herself winning the Money in the Bank contract because she feels like it would create such a buzz and controversy amongst the community. Everyone looks at the Money in the Bank contracts as a stepping stone for a young superstar to win, or even for a veteran superstar who has never won a world title before. Individuals like that usually make for the best Money in the Bank contract winners, and the community never really complains when it goes to a superstar like that. But for the Money in the Bank contract to go to a former multiple-time world champion like Becky Lynch, that'll have the community in an uproar for sure. And that's the part that Becky actually loves about it. She loves that the fans would be so bothered and annoyed by her winning, and that's what makes her want to see it happen. And what also makes Becky so excited for this idea is, of course, pairing the contract with her current cocky and arrogant character. It sounds like Becky thinks that can lead towards a lot of entertaining angles and moments there as well. Becky's character is already over-the-top cocky and narcissistic as is, but put a contract in her hand that guarantees her a title match anytime and any place, and that'll surely make Becky's character even more cocky and obnoxious. And that's what she loves about it the most. This is a pretty realistic idea here by Becky. It definitely seems like something that has a good chance of legitimately happening. Becky has not been involved in the world title scene since spring of 2024, and that's also the last time she held a world title. Ever since she returned in spring 2025, all the way to just recently at Clash in Italy, Becky Lynch has only been part of things happening in the mid-card with the Intercontinental Championship. It's been well over 2 years since Becky Lynch got her hands on a world title, so maybe winning the Money in the Bank contract is a way of slowly reintroducing Becky to the world title scene and setting her up for a big cash-in moment to become the world champion again. The last few cash-ins have been some very special ones. 2025 saw Naomi cash in her contract during the main event of the historic Evolution 2 main event. And 2025 also saw Seth Rollins cash in his contract during the main event of SummerSlam with the whole fake injury angle. So the last few cash-ins have been pretty massive. So if Becky gets her hands on that contract, it would lead to a lot of entertaining moments with her character, and potentially a big cash-in. The thing with the women's Money in the Bank contract is that it has a 100% historic successful cash-in rate. Every single woman that has ever won the Money in the Bank contract have all gone on to have successful cash-ins. So Becky can either keep that 100% cash-in rate intact with a successful cash-in, or maybe Becky gets a little too cocky and arrogant during her cash-in, and she actually becomes the first woman ever to have failed a cash-in. That's another possibility there as well, and could serve as instant karma for the type of person Becky's character is. She's been rubbing that contract in everyone's face, so arrogant that it was going to be an easy win for her, and if she ends up being the first woman ever to have failed cash-in, that would be such a blunder for Becky's character, and she'll have to dig herself out of that hole of having the first ever failed cash-in for the women's division. So Becky is right. Her winning the Money in the Bank contract could go in a bunch of different and exciting ways. We'll have to see if they do decide to go with Becky's character as the winner. Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Jey had a brief backstage segment this week on Raw that really teased and established a lot of different story routes that could be coming up there. The segment started with the Bloodline re-watching Roman and Cody's brief encounter with each other backstage after Clash in Italy. Roman's response to seeing Cody in that video was that he'll get to him later. We spoke about this earlier in the week, but it does look like WWE is back in the full swing of teasing the third meeting between Roman and Cody. They heavily started to hint at it during Clash in Italy, and now you have this June 1st moment of Roman saying that he's getting ready to handle Cody real soon. As far as when this matchup is happening, everyone believes Roman vs. Cody will be the main event of the Crown Jewel event that's taking place later this year, which has been known to be a World Champion vs. World Champion bout in recent memory. The fact that they're teasing this matchup between Roman and Cody this early also has fans wondering if that's pretty much a spoiler that neither Cody or Roman are dropping their titles anytime soon, and that they'll both have their titles in hand for the Crown Jewel in October. But something else that was teased here was Roman motivating Jey to go after the WWE Championship. Roman said that Jey knew what it was like to hold the world title, but how Jey never tasted the other title, and he wanted Jey to win the King of the Ring tournament and go capture the undisputed title. So Roman isn't trying to hold Jey back. He wants him to go out there and bring back another world title to the family. Some fans questioned if this is going to make Jimmy feel a certain way, because here Roman is as world champion, Jey is in the King of the Ring tournament, and Jimmy is doing absolutely nothing. So will that eventually grow into a problem there amongst the three of them? They sort of started this story in fall 2025, where Roman and Jey were taking jabs at Jimmy for not being a former world champion. So they said that he couldn't really think and operate at their same level because of that. That story last fall went absolutely nowhere, but it could get brought back up here again soon if Roman and Jey continue to get big opportunities, all while Jimmy gets nothing. It's possible for sure. The other big hint here was that Roman, Jimmy, and Jey were also talking behind Jacob's back, talking about how Jacob needs to understand tough love and how they have to stay on top of him. So quite a lot is going on right now with Roman Reigns and the Bloodline, so we'll have to see where all those stories go to next. But what are your thoughts on today's stories? Leave your comments below, don't forget to subscribe with all notifications on, and leave a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.